If there was an insurrectionist in the House abusing power to overturn an election result, it was Adam Schiff. So another big accountability news, the House of Representatives, at least a majority of the House, voted to remove Congressman Ilhan Omar from the House Foreign Affairs Committee over comments she made that virtually no one defends other than the lunatic left that is fundamentally anti-Semitic. Communism and Marxism has a long history of anti-Semitism that the major media often denies and tries to hide. And Ilhan Omar, being the radical extremist and leftist she is, has made a series of anti-Semitic comments, and none, in my view, that were accidental, or certainly no knowledgeable person or anyone who was a public official has any excuse in believing wouldn't be seen as being anti-Semitic. And so now she's off the Foreign Affairs Committee. So that's a great victory, and I commend the House Republicans and those who voted for it. Obviously, none of the Democrats voted for it. But the question is it enough accountability? Judicial Watch a few years ago filed an ethics complaint against Ms. Omar over the allegations of marriage fraud, income tax abuse, I think there was some campaign finance fraud, immigration fraud, student loan fraud, you name it, as it relates to the issue about who she married and whether it was her brother and whether there was like a sham marriage for immigration purposes, and her answers to the questions about that. Even her liberal hometown newspaper wasn't terribly convinced, so we thought there was enough there to ask these questions, serious questions. And of course, no one really wants to talk about it. And for I think self-evident reasons, the Republicans didn't want to raise that issue in this context, but I think it's something that's worth pursuing. And my question is the Ethics Committee finally going to pursue this issue? And I think given the nature of the allegations here, that it should be pursued and that she should be denied access to any committee until there's a resolution. Frankly, there's enough for a federal criminal investigation of what Ilhan Omar did. But I tell you, I have to hand it to the new House majority for taking, however small the steps, to bring some accountability back for the misconduct and abuse related to some of those left-wing Democrats who abuse their offices to achieve political ends. And I mean, as I talked about last week, and it's worth sharing again in the context of the Omar move, Congressman Schiff and Congressman Swalwell, who were directly removed from the Select Committee on Intelligence by Speaker McCarthy. And Schiff and Swalwell, of course, has been compromised, irredeemably so, and his judgment is, in my view, in the least, his judgment in his relationship with this alleged Chinese spy means that he can't be trusted with classified information or to be making decisions as it relates to our classified programs. He's compromised. He can't be trusted. And his judgment is just confirmed to be something that can't be trusted by any Democrat or Republican, Democrats if they were being honest about it. And of course, Schiff abused his role as chairman, and then first as ranking minority member and then chairman to target Trump with Russiagate lies, knowingly lie about what he was up to, what evidence he had about Russia, and just putting out false information to protect Hunter Biden, to protect Joe Biden, and try to destroy Trump. If there was an insurrectionist in the House abusing power to overturn an election result, it was Adam Schiff. Let me suggest this. I often ask you to call Congress, call Capitol Hill, tell them to do this, tell them to do that. I suggest you call Capitol Hill and thank them for thank Kevin McCarthy for removing Schiff and Swalwell from the committees, the Select Committee on Intelligence. And if you agree with the removal of Omar, I think, as I said before, I would have removed her over these other ethics issues as opposed to arguing about her anti-Semitic comments. But, you know, I do understand why folks were concerned about it, because as a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, she, as I said earlier, she gets to travel abroad and she's representing the United States. And if we don't like that and reject that approach, that vicious anti-Semitism that she embraces, that vicious anti-Americanism that she embraces, and her wink and nodding at and kind of defensive position she's taken as it relates to Islamist terrorism, you know, why would you want someone like that representing you abroad? So that was the theory of the Republicans, and you know, I think it's mildly persuasive. I probably would have voted on that. So I think I've reconsidered a little bit my objections initially to taking her off simply on those statements. You know, but my concern is she's on other committees, and I don't think she has the ethics to be in any position of trust on the House. So thank Speaker McCarthy, thank your other members of Congress, and ask them to expand the investigations into Ilhan Omar, ask them to expand the investigations that we've asked for, or at least initiate them. I mean, why don't they ask the questions about Schiff's mishandling of classified information, or his shady relationships with witnesses in the impeachment matter, 2 complaints that we filed against Schiff. So thank them for doing the right thing, but remind them there's more to be done. 202-225-3121, that's 202-225-3121. So I ask you, again, call your members of Congress, and you should just do this as a matter of course. If you like something they're doing, let them know. If you don't like something they're doing, let them know. And sometimes, always, or I should say, I would say, always let them know what else you want them to do. Because remember, they work for you, and you know, just because they do something good doesn't mean there's a lot more work to be done, especially with our government so out of control in terms of corruption and spending and such. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.